Hello, once again, Josiah Gary Portable Footy Talk, and what an amazing week of football that was. That was one of the greatest 2 weeks back to back we've seen from the Manchester United side in decades. I have to be serious and sincere when I say this because we've seen United play really good football over the years, and we've seen some master classes from previous managers. And after the game against City, there was a lot of question marks. If it was just a one-time thing, or if these boys were going to do it again, being the next game, Arsenal. Well, like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said when United were going to Paris to take on PSG, mountains are there to be climbed, aren't there? So the day came forth, United faced Arsenal and came out 3-2 winners at the Emirates Stadium. Honestly, I have to say I was one of the fans who believed Ruben Amorim was a great coach, but United players were just shitty and not good enough for his system. That might be true. Probably the players were not good enough to play under Amorim's 3-4-3 formation, but it was almost believable that these players were crap. Yes, I was one of the fans, one of the few persons saying these players were terrible, because truth be told, they were being very terrible then. But the little twitch in the formation just showed how good these players could be. Now Bruno playing in his best position, as well as Dogu playing in an offensive position, not the left back he was signed to be. And it's just crazy to see we have our own Gareth Bale in the making before our very own eyes. Sadly, he picked up a knock in that game that could see him out for about 10 weeks, according to reports. After the scan, he's going to be out for 2 months and a half, which is just sad because he was just starting to pick up some of his best games in a United JC. The previous 5 games, he has either had a goal or an assist, which was shocking for the dog we've all been criticizing for having a terrible output in the Manchester United squad. Also, I had a conversation with a friend, a Chelsea fan who rarely watches Chelsea matches, who I can say is a Messi fan. And he was talking about how Martinez Cunha should be starting ahead of Patrick Dogu. I don't even know why I left my handkerchief right now, but that's by the side. He was saying Martinez Cunha should be starting ahead of Patrick Dogu. I explained to him how Cunha has been effective off the bench before this very game. That was the game against City where Doku started and Cunha came off the bench to replace him. Where he didn't even replace Dogu, but Cunha came off the bench and got an assist for Dogu. Well, in this very game, before I could even finish my statement, Cunha came off the bench and scored a belter of a goal to secure all 3 points, and United took all 3 points back to Old Trafford. Well, to the Gunners fans, I've been saying this times and times again. Arsenal is a very terrible team and they don't deserve to win the Premier League or the Champions League. 3 reasons. I'll give you 3 reasons why I believe Arsenal are a terrible team. Going for defensively, they are the best defensive side in Europe, all of Europe. I don't think there's any defensive lineup or setup that can match Arsenal's record defensively this season. Midfield is just on and off. It's not so special, but the most terrible output has been the attack. The attacking effort has been awful. Imagine own goals ranking in second for Arsenal goals in the Premier League season. Own goals, 4 own goals, second. That's just terrible. Bukayo Saka hasn't had a Premier League goal in his last 12 matches, is it now? Leandro Trossard, no Premier League goal in his last 11. Martinelli, no Premier League goal in his last 11 appearances. What's his name? The recently signed defender in form of a striker, Victor Yokeres, who I'm very glad. choose Arsenal over Manchester United. Yes, because it would have been eaten alive if he was playing in the United shirt. It's shit, and we're saying it always. Pardon my words, but that's just the truth. He's playing so awful. Imagine the last chance that fell before him before the end of the game. Yes, there was a foul, but come on, we all expect a striker to do better there. But instead, he made a last minute clearance on the United backline. Magical. That's just magical. But that aside, back to why Arsenal are a terrible team. They only rely on corners where they play around football, always gathering around goalkeepers, trying to fight. If I'm pretty sure if all of Arsenal corner kick goals are double checked and reviewed over and over, about 70% of their goals will be cancelled because they're all about fouling goalkeepers, scrambling, and everybody's just attempting to kick whatever they can get a goal. Always crappy goal. What we grew up watching Arsenal in the time of Arsene Wenger, and Arsenal was a very attacking side team. They were so attacking minded that we called them the passers of Europe, of England rather. They were always passing. They were always passing. They passed teams into confusion. But these days, they just sit back, relax, wait to hit you on the counter to get a corner kick, not even to score a goal, to get a corner kick. Most times, they end up getting this corner kick. And last season and the season before, they were so prolific with those set pieces. But this season, it's been awful. They've not had as much success as they did in the previous seasons, and you don't expect to win the Champions League and the Premier League playing such terrible football. I know Arsenal fans are not going to agree with me because they never agree to reality. They're always talking about silly things, foolish comparisons, having other guys going head to head against Bruno Fernandes. Absolute madness. Madness. That's just all I can say about that. But that aside, those are just two reasons. Or was it three? I think that's the second reason I've given. The third reason being that Ateta, Ateta is not yet ready to win it. If he was ready, I would know. He's going to change all these silly antics of around football, trying to get a corner, defending. Arsenal barely score goals. They barely concede, yes, but they rarely score. They are always defending, scrambling with 1-0 victories. Yes, we've seen teams in the past come out champions with 1-0 victories. We've had Chelsea do it. We've seen Liverpool do it. United did it some time back. That was the last Premier League we won in 2013. We were scrambling victories by single goals. But this Arsenal team, they're just getting it by chance, on goals or by luck or from corner kicks. That is such a silly take from an Arsenal perspective, though. From the eye of a neutral fan, we can all tell that they are playing nonsense football. That's clear around football. Find a corner, then all of them jump into the goalkeeper in the box six, not even the box eight, in the box six, acting like their life depends on killing the goalkeeper to get a goal. It's shocking. But football is still here, still ongoing. 4 points now separate first from third. Arsenal on 50 points, Man City and Aston Villa on 46 points each. United, who everyone's claim is the most horrible team in the EPL this season, sit in fourth position above Liverpool and Chelsea. There's still a long way to go for the end of the season. 15 matches, 45 points up for grab. Definitely no team is getting all 45, but we'll still go forward. I will never take it from an Arsenal fan anymore or from any fan saying United are shit. Come on, we're not back, but we're not shit. We're definitely getting better and better. Kudos Michael Carrick. Got the most difficult two games any manager can have for the start of his managerial career. Although this wasn't his first time managing United, he did it internally, but he's back now. He had two tough games to start. He's gotten 6 points from both games. Long way to go. We can't say he's the man. We can't say if we're back yet. But something I know for sure is Glory, glory, Man United. Just like whatever footy talks. Peace and love, everybody.